Hey everyone, Fabian, Empire Build Academy, and this is the Wall General's Guide for the free-to-play. Now, before I continue, I have said on the previous videos for the normal generals, the free-to-play generals, so the mounted, the siege, the ranged, and the ground, that you only need 15 copies, and someone pointed out to me in the comments that actually this is incorrect. It's 15 copies to ascend all the way to 5 stars, but you need the original copy to be able to do that in the first place. So I just want to point out, I will also pin it as a comment on those other videos as well, that you need 16 copies in total, the original copy you're going to use, and then 15 additional after that. So I just wanted to get that clear straight away, and a big thanks for the comment that actually corrected me on that. So now we'll get into today's video, which is Wall General's Guide for the free-to-play. And I'll be honest, I did the last one, Siege, and I said there wasn't many options for Siege really to go with, and this is not really much different in terms of what's available for the free-to-play. So let's go straight over to the game, and before we go any further, I always say at the start of these videos, 3 options that we have. We have the premium general tokens, we have the Trial of Knights, which unfortunately no Evony general is available for the wall, and then lastly we have the Tavern that we can go into. Now it's the same again with the wall general for the premium tokens. I'm going to explain very quickly what I'm talking about there, but when you go into your items and you go down to the general tokens, the general premium tokens, which is this one here, I don't use these until I've built up at least 100 so that I can go after a specific general, whether that be any of the 4 tiers, the range, siege, ground and mounted, and then I'll go after that one particular general when they're released using those 100 tokens, looking to get 16 copies. And I said it at the beginning, I'll say it again, not 15 copies like I said previously. You need the original copy that you're going to ascend. So it's 16 different copies in total that you need. The problem with the wall general is they don't really come out on here. In fact, the last one that we've seen was Isaac Brock, and that was over 12 months ago. But I'm still going to just explain very quickly what I'm talking about in relation to this. So when I go into this, and I go into the detail, and then I click in the chance details down here, this will show you the percentage of people coming out. And you can see Shapur the First was the last person to be released. They are the one that has a 600% increase in coming out. So 16.13% chance of Shapur coming out over all of the other options in there. And it's the same again when we go into the other general token, the normal epic general token. Click into here, detail, chance details, again 9.09% versus the 0.45% for everyone else. So when going after a general, doesn't matter which general it is, make sure you've saved up 100 tokens so that you can get that general ascended by obtaining 16 different copies. And as a free to play, if you are going to play the long game, this is definitely the way to do it. Now, going and having a look at exactly what is available, you may be already aware that Queen Boudica seems to be the option for everyone, and it hasn't really changed that much. I'll go into the recruit option, and we go into portraits, and then what we're going to do here is on the drop down, we're going to select defense, and you can see these are all the different ones that are available in Europe. We go to that refresh probability in Tavern, and then that will show you what the percentage chance of everyone dropping out. So you can see straight away there, the final 5, William Marshall, Leo III, Leonidas I, and Sappho, and Isaac Brock, 0% chance of them coming out via this method. Richard the Lionheart, Queen Boudica, and Jadwiga are the only 3. And when we click into these, you can see the difference that we've got. So Richard the Lionheart increases hospital capacity by 30%. When we go into the Ascensions, you can see again, in-city troops HP 20%, not too bad. In-city troops defense plus 15%. In-city troops attack and HP 20%. Not going to read them all out, but you can see all the different ones there, and he would be available via the Tavern. We're going to Queen Boudica. The reason she's the most popular is because she comes with that mounted troop HP of 15% and also mounted troop attack by 30% when she is the main city defense general. And again, when we go in there, you can see on that 1st star ascension, in-city mounted troop and ground troop HP plus 20%. Go to the 3rd star where you can see we now get some in-city mounted troop defense 30%, as well as in-city ground troop and mounted troop HP 15%. On the 4th star, there is some more mounted troop HP, as well as some more ground troop and mounted troop defense. And finally, she finishes off hitting that mounted buff by giving it an extra 30% on the defense and HP and 20% attack on the final one. Now, one thing I will say with the defense general, I'll be completely honest as well, if you're watching this video and you are a free to play, then you do need to to be aware that in relation to these buffs, because you are likely to go with a meat wall trap of T1, T2, T3, and very unlikely to have anything higher in the T11 plus, the percentage buffs that she has are going to be very minimal, but of course they are definitely going to add up. And then if we look at the specialities, there is some more mounted troop, in-city ground troop, mounted troop attack on that one, and then we go to the final one where again there is some more in-city mounted troop attack and mounted troop HP. So for a mounted wall, which the majority of us are, Queen Boudica is the option, the best option for the free-to-play. Jadwiga, we'll jump onto her very quickly, and we can see she's got some mounted troop attack by 30%, as well as some siege machine there. But again, when we go further down this, the mounted troop attack versus what Queen Boudica gives is very minimal. And again, if we just have a look at the specialities as well, she also comes with some in-city ground troop and mounted troop attack. And then the last one is enemy siege machine attack. So if you was trying to protect against siege machine attack, obviously this would be a good option, but in all honesty, Jadwiga versus Queen Boudica would be the better option. Is there anyone anywhere else? Well, let's have a look. These are the Americans, so we've got James Bowie and George Dewey. We can see that he is reducing rather than increasing, although there is some in-city ground troop and mounted troop attack by 15%. And when we go into the ascensions, all the way down, again, there is some more mounted troop attack and various buffs in there. But again, it's not going to match up to Queen Boudica. And if we have a look at that final one, because that's the one that interests me, the in-city, there is in-city ground troop and mounted troop attack 26%. But again, doesn't touch what Queen Boudica is offering. George Dewey, let's have a look at his end one. You can see his range and siege. And when we go onto this as well, again, it looks like there is more focus for that in-city ranged and siege versus the mounted. And I'm not going to go into all of these, but again, Zachary Taylor, he wasn't available. Japan, there is only Kusanagi Masashigi, if I said that correctly, and this is what you get with him. Again, there is some mounted troop, but it's the in-city range troop that is seeming to be the higher number in this, and that when you go to the end, you will see that as well. And that was the only one in there, wasn't it? Korea, is this one available? No, it isn't. China, this one available? No, it isn't. Russia, there isn't anyone. Arabia, she is available, but she is used as an assistant general to increase your production. So you can see increases resource production speed in the main city by 100% and also protects the food from being used, although you should never have food open, so that shouldn't be a problem anyway. Just a little pointer there. And then when you go onto this, again, you wouldn't have her ascended because you're using her as an assistant general, so wouldn't be relevant to use on the wall. And then when we go to the others, we've got Lei Thuong and Tran Hung Dao. And this is Lei Thuong. It increases the trap's triggering rate by 60%. And we're going with the range troop attack and defense. And again, you can see that's what's going to be there at the end. It sort of gives a guide as to which one this is more geared towards. So this one's geared more towards traps and ranged. And Tran, he was increased ground troop HP by 20%, siege machine attack by 30%. Go to the end on here and you will see in-city machine attack 30%. Although it does come with some enemy range troop attack of 30% as well, which could be interesting. Just going to have a look at what else is on here. In-city range troop siege machine. Again, not really giving us anything in mounted. So would have been an interesting option if there would have been something more there. Again, I still think that Queen Boudica is the option for the free-to-play. When will another wall general be released? That is the question I want to ask to everyone and anyone at Evony. Isaac Brock was the last one we had. I'm literally saving those 120 tokens you seen earlier, hopefully for a better version of Isaac Brock, but it doesn't look like I'm getting my wish anytime soon. So that would be the options for the wall general. If you do have any other ideas as to what you would use as a wall general, I've seen other options. It's been a little bit of a grey area actually. So I'm intrigued to read the comments again. And again, I will say the comments are really helping this out. I am going to reiterate again, I am not an Evony expert. I am someone who goes and does research. I'm someone who follows people's advice. That's what I did with Queen Boudica right from the beginning. I don't think it's changed, but maybe you can tell me something different. And if you are that person, then please do get involved in them comments. We've already seen recently with the recent videos that comments really do help. And there's a lot of people now that are starting to speak more and more in the comments. And I want that to continue. I've mentioned before about EmpireBuildAcademy.com. I'm going to do a lot more work on that. And I'm going to make it more easily readable, easily accessible for Evony players. Of course, I want to do other games on there and put some other stuff in there. But Evony is my first love. Evony Evony is the one that I'm playing right now, so I definitely want to make that a better focus. So what I want to do eventually, once I've done a number of these videos and I've done more and more research, and I do start to become a little bit more of an expert on playing Evony, I can make that website geared towards all that advice we've got. So that is where I'm going to leave it for this particular video. Wall Defense General, Queen Boudica is still the option for me. Again, if you are free to play, the likelihood is that you are getting that general not for necessarily the buffs that she provides, but of course what you are doing is getting the weapons attached to her with all those different flat refines, which you can see there, and that's what makes the difference on your wall general for free to play, is the mounted refines, flat versus percentage, always flat. So you don't want to be having percentages on here, you want to be having flat refines on there. That is what you want to do. So that's where I'm going to leave it on this video. Like I say, if you've got any better suggestions, then please do mention them in the comments, and I will see you in another Evony video very soon. Thanks for watching.